How are you other than tired from the Super Bowl? I'm Robin Meade. Hundreds of people showed up for the Super Bowl in person, ticket in hand, and then we're told you don't have a seat. Who can imagine? Rafer is live in Arlington, Texas, where there was a big win for the Packers last night after all the drama. Hi there. The Packers are the Super Bowl champions and led by quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who is also the Super Bowl MVP. Rafer Weigel witnessed it all, so he can tell us firsthand. Good morning. American woman who got trapped in her apartment when chaos broke out in Egypt is now back in the States. She was rescued by a driver who works for the U.S. Embassy. His fiance in the United States heard the woman had trouble getting out and called him to help.
Don't think.
Wow. Well, the 76-year-old woman said that when the protests erupted outside her door, she fought off the intruders with a knife and boiling water. Get a load of this technology. Your doctor can soon use an iPad or an iPhone to check the results of your CAT scans or your MRI and diagnose you. This is a new app called the Mobile MIM. Now, it is the first app that the FDA has cleared for use. The FDA says that doctors should only use it when they cannot access their workstation. A robbery suspect pointed a gun at a clerk but was extremely polite about the whole thing. Surveillance cameras caught it, and even their audio, you can hear him apologize before the big game as well. It's just not the Super Bowl ads that have you talking. Your fellow viewers are reacting to Christina Aguilera's anthem flub. Action, go to CNN.com/Robin and email or Facebook us or tweet me directly at Robin Meade on Twitter. A college student has the H1N1 virus.
I talked to some that weren't seated at all.
Yeah, absolutely. So more on that coming up. Rafer, thank you. Bob's off today because he must have been watching it on the tube. So let me talk about your travel delays. You know, former White House Chief of Staff James Baker is urging Washington politicians to take a cue from former President Ronald Reagan, Egypt, and say that they are not budging until the president there is gone. This is day 14 of the protest. Egypt's vice president and some opposition leaders met to talk about possible changes to the government, but a lot of the protesters were not happy. You know, thank you to the cadets and the viewers at West Point this weekend, where I was a guest vocalist with pianist Jim Brickman and dedicated that performance of Welcome Home to Captain Scott Smiley, who we got to interview there. Captain Scott Smiley was wounded in an attack that cost him his eyesight while he served in Iraq, and yet he continues to serve.
One of the Army values is selfless service, and when I got injured, it's something that I still saw myself doing, was still giving back to my country, still fighting for our freedoms, and it was just something that I didn't feel like I was done with, and to be able to serve, and even now, is just an amazing opportunity.
Thank you to the cadets and the viewers at West Point this weekend, where I was a guest vocalist with pianist Jim Brickman and dedicated that performance of Welcome Home to Captain Scott Smiley, who we got to interview there. Captain Scott Smiley was wounded in an attack that cost him his eyesight while he served in Iraq, and yet he continues to serve. You know, 2/3 of U.S. kids with ADHD may have other serious health problems. They include mental health issues like depression, unrelated learning disorders, and problems with how their nervous system develops. UCLA researchers say that doctors should routinely screen ADHD kids for other problems. Researchers estimate that about 4 million U.S. kids have ADHD. President Obama defended his health care overhaul in a 15-minute interview before the Super Bowl. He said that a federal judge was wrong for ruling the law unconstitutional. Yeah, the cutest. Doctors say that Max is going to need a lot of care, but his prognosis is very good. There are more twists and turns in Halle Berry's custody battle. Showbiz is all over that. And here's Brooke Anderson.